Why, hello everyone, and welcome to the stream. This is the Taku Showboat. Today is Thursday, March 23rd, 2023. In Factorio today, we will be doing several things, including making great alien samples and diamonds. We will be doing the diamond processing chain today and getting a few smaller factories built for things like passivation layers, as well as grease. I will need grease in order to build diamonds, to do the diamond processing chain, so we'll make these few extra things together, and if I have time, at the very end, I will also set up military science, to actually have access to military science, because I'm currently chewing through the last 2 techs I can take at chem science. And yeah, I'd like to be able to get access to water fill, and we're going to need to make military science anyway at some point. So, what I want to say here at the start before we really get into it of stuff not related to Factorio, I don't even know at this point. I guess I could say, hey, I've been watching anime like every evening for the past like week and a half, 2 weeks or so. It's been quite nice just being able to relax at night from like around 8 o'clock until I go to bed, just watching Crunchyroll. Saw the lineup that they have for the spring season, and holy crap, there's like 10 things that I intend on at least watching the first episode of. We'll see about continuing past the first episode, but yeah, there's like 10 in spring. Like what? That's a lot that I'd actually be interested in this time. Usually it's like 2 or 3, if that, of the shows that I end up being actually interested in or watching. It's like 4 right now, I think, 4 or 5 that I currently watch week by week. But at the moment, I'm just like watching watching existing seasons that are out of various shows that I didn't watch when they were live at the time. So, with that, game, hi, kitty, hi, Dolly's baby. Yeah, hi, Ollie. Ollie brought Dolly's baby up, even though your baby is like in the back. Yeah, big boy. Yeah, you're going after. You wanna play. Yeah, you wanna play, big boy. Big boy wants to play. Yes. Yes, he does. Of course he does. Yes. Hello. Welcome. I wanna say at the beginning that it appears as if the actual release of the big updates that are coming is still pushed back. It wasn't live in the minutes leading to the stream today, so even if it has just gone live, I'm not going to have it for this particular stream. He just swatted it out of my fingers. He just grabbed it right out of my hand. Okay, sure. Sure thing. That's the Ollie for you. Okay. What did we do last time? You know what? Just go get it. Go get it, big boy. What did we do last time? Graphene rolls. That was the big thing that we ended up getting last time that we met. Set up all this wonderful stuff. We have graphene rolls. It's absolutely glorious that we have these now. So. And we built some things that led into this as well. We built biofilm that led into this in particular. So, what did I do between streams? I did a few things. I've scaled a few things. I have set up a couple of train stations, a few train stations, just to speed up the process of making a few of these smaller, simpler items today. But I think one of the biggest things that I did between streams was, in fact, this build. I've cleaned up my hell mod a bit, just a little bit. I deleted every single production block in hell mod and started from scratch. Hello again. Welcome back with the baby. Started from scratch for all intents and purposes. Now, what I built over here. Go get it. Go. Off. Where stay? And not. Hey! Scraping at me. Yeah, you almost broke the skin, and now you got your hooks in my sleeve. Unhook. Go off. Yeah, biter. Swatter. If you're gonna be like that, I'm gonna push you off. So, yeah, it's much cleaner. We can actually see our production lines now. Not as big of a mess as before. So I set up this. What this is that this converts all phosphine into phosphoric acid. This is very much a phosphoric acid build. And in order to do this, I've had to make saline. So I am spending small parts and drilling fluid for this. This makes 500 phosphoric acid per second if I need it. It does make 800 HCl, but I'm not using this for HCl. I don't really want to have to spend the phosphate rocks and the syngas, etc. on like just hydrochloric. If I were to void either one between the phosphoric and the hydrogen chloride. So yeah, this is a pretty big build. In order to make the pure sand, I decided to go the route of sand extraction, spending some iron on the sand extraction. Bear in mind that I am making 151.6 sand. I am making 151.6 sand, which, yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot for, 10 iron. And I did a comparison with the building costs, and this is a lower building count overall than using soil extractors to make the sand. It is lower overall. So basically, everywhere that I need sand, I should be replacing it with this. Now, if you'll excuse me, I need to blow my nose real quick. Yes, allergies are appearing just magically right at 10 o'clock. Sure, great. Alright, well, I guess today is runny nose day, which I very rarely actually have runny nose. It's always been congestion. It's usually just sinus pressure and congestion. Today, it's actually runny nose, and that is rare that I have that. But anyway, let's get rid of that camera for now so we can actually see more of the screen. Yeah, so that was one of the bigger things that I did between streams, was setting up additional phosphoric acid. It's because I will be needing more phosphoric acid as we go along here. What else have I done scrolling my page? I have set up more niobium complex down here. This is another larger build, but it's more of a rebuild of what already existed. I am mining significantly more niobium ore, and in order to support that, I have also scaled up my refined syngas wherever I've built the refined syngas here. I tacked on a few extra buildings for the refined syngas build. And yeah, instead of this putting on additional methanol, since I actually have a separate build for methanol now, I'm importing the methanol for this 1,000 refined syngas, of which a lot of it, it's like closer to 400, I think, per second gets consumed here if I was using everything. And then just the regular niobium processing, bearing in mind niobium, one of the very few ore processing chains that intentionally allows you to use productivity modules. So bearing that in mind, it's this one, and it's molybdenum, and I'm pretty sure rare earth also has the ability to have productivity on the bulk of the chains. So yeah, just regular processing here. It goes all the way up to complex, and it makes 1,000 niobium complex per second. Now, I did not scale the plates. I have not scaled the plates. I just relocated the chem plants and electrolyzers for producing the plates. Reason being is that demand for plates drops pretty considerably compared to complex the later that you get into the game. A lot of stuff that uses plates replaces the plate requirement with complex for more advanced, better recipes overall. I do need more plates, granted, but that's all the plate production right now is eating into that 1,000 complex, right? So I don't really want to process all of the niobium complex into plates. I want to have as much of it available as possible for the base. Now, I did this so that I could scale and add onto my train network iron niobium alloy. I added iron niobium alloy, cough cough, to the tune of 30 per second. I'm pretty sure this is 30. So a full red belt of this stuff. And we are going to be using iron niobium alloy as well at some point, but figured, you know what, it's good to have this. I've put it onto the train network now, so it's glorious. Everything is awesome on that front. Okay, so for the phosphoric acid, I also had to put a whole bunch of rocks onto the train network, and somewhere up around here, I've built that. Somewhere up in the northern area, there is a random, yeah, way out yonder, way far away from most stuff in the base, is this little spot where I found 3 phosphate rock patches. And that's what I've mostly been tapping into. It looks like I managed to miss a thing. How can I best go about getting the fuel in for you? I guess that works. Alright, so that provides enough ore for my phosphoric acid scaling over here. And that is just about it. There is one other factory that I built, and that is the lead and antimony alloy factory right over here. This produces 7.5 lead and antimony alloy. It's not enough, but frankly, the biggest problem with this is through the molten lead recipe, but the bottleneck isn't the lead. The bottleneck is the antimony. Just this 7.5 needs 6 antimony oxide. Yeah, to actually support that 7.5. So, yeah, it's a bit much, and there's no way to make it better. This is the better way, the best way for making this stuff, and it's rather unfortunate that this is just so expensive, especially when it's like 1-to-1 with batteries. Minus productivity, but whatever. Yeah, because you can at least productivity the battery recipe to help reduce the amount of this alloy, but it's still a lot of alloy per battery, and a lot of antimony oxide per battery ultimately. But we're not using this for batteries. We're going to be using it for this stuff. Lead containers, which need 4 of them per lead container, as well as 10 iron niobium alloy per container. Thus why I have set up iron niobium alloy and lead antimony alloy on the train network. So there you have it. I have prepared train stations today for lead containers, passivation layers, and for grease. We will set those up, but that's not going to be the first thing that we do, because the first thing that we do is going to be great alien samples, and we will build this together from scratch. Okay, great alien samples. First thing, pin that. This is all that we need to do for great alien samples. It's wonderful, and I'm realizing I haven't built Mark II Gene Labs at all. Wonderful. I need 7 of them. And do I have FB reactors on me? At Mark II. Yes, I have exactly 7 of them at Mark II, so that's great. If you're able to really read my hotbar, you may notice I have a little bit of an issue right now. I have an issue that will need to be resolved at some point relatively quickly. That issue just so oh, you don't actually eat those. Nice. The issue is that I don't have enough red belt. And the issue with the red belts is the advanced small parts, primarily. I have circuit 2s coming in, that's fine, but the issue is advanced small parts, and as it turns out, the issue with the advanced small parts is a direct result of me picking a MOS upgrade from the turd system. Me picking option 2 has slowed down my advanced small part production. How? Because it slowed down my production of rubber. How? Because it slowed down my production of latex. Because it slowed down my production of formic acid. Because it slowed down my production of Vrauk. Because it slowed down my production of moss. Because by changing moss to no longer eat muddy sludge, I now have to void more sand. So I've been struggling with the advanced small part production, ultimately, because I did not build my system properly to support adequate throughput for voiding the sand produced through this process. And I have not come over here to adjust this process to not do this anymore. Because it's not necessary. I don't need these buildings at all. I don't need to do this. I can spend a little bit of iron and get my coarse fraction out of this just fine. And I can get CO2 from Moondrop directly and not have to do this 2-step process when I can do a 1-step process instead. That being said, with that fixed, just by upgrading this segment right here up to red belts, I have now restored my production of the moss. So slowly but surely, the Vrauk production will return, and therefore the production of the formic acid will return, and the latex and the rubber. Looks like the rubber is coming in a little bit more than it was before. It was like closer to half its rate, half the normal rate. So yeah, it's got to chew through a few extra bottlenecks as well. It's gotta add to a few other buffers at some point. But for now, what I need to do is I need to get these moving. There we go. That's two. That's 2 of 7. You happen to need a lot of lead plates. Interesting. Very interesting. I don't know where I can just steal lead plates. Actually, I do know where I can steal lead plates from all the way over here, but I have to like go all the way over there to see it to pick things up out of those chests. I guess we just have to wait. There's 3. I can start throwing in stacks of stuff. Plastic. There you go. Or lead. Lead! Let there be lead! Bring it on in! Yeah, it's interesting that one small change like that can just break so much. And can reduce the throughput of so many things. It's like, and I didn't even notice that it was a, like, issue, that was an issue that because what I thought was that I just didn't have enough advanced small part production, and that I just needed to scale advanced small parts. But sanity check before doing something like that, I just checked to see, hey, am I even getting the amount that I'm supposed to be making in the first place? The answer ended up being no. And just going item by item down the line, seeing what was the bottleneck, going bottleneck to bottleneck, it ended up just being, oh hey, because you picked this option in the upgrade system, you now have to void more sand, and what I was doing for the sand voiding was insufficient throughput to maintain the proper production of moss for Vrauk, for formic acid, for latex, for rubber, for advanced small parts. And that led into shortage of everything that needs advanced small parts in the mall, but specifically, especially, my red belts. So, yeah, that was a mission. A bit of a mission. So while I'm sitting here and waiting for at least one more Gene Lab, Mark II, I have selected at least one more upgrade. That being, I've selected Yadels when I finished that technology, which finally happened after last stream. I picked option 1 to add speed and productivity to my Yadels. Reason being is that I don't really see too much point to the spores going faster. This is not, generally speaking, the biggest impact, per se, especially if I'm eventually going to have access to Bob's beacons and speed modules. Like, it's going to go super fast no matter what. It's not really the speed that I'm interested in with this upgrade. It's the productivity, although the speed helps since you can't beacon these things. I didn't select option 2 because I don't want to spend hot air to make Yadles. I'd rather not do that thing. The cold air is nice, but I won't always have a need for cold air. I don't have an immediate need for cold air like this. So since I won't need to always use it, and I'm uncomfortable voiding Yadles, like if I wanted to do this for a consistent supply of cold air, I would have to void Yadles. And I am not too comfortable doing that. I just went with the general productivity upgrade here, that just process of elimination on that front. The other thing that I picked, like if I haven't mentioned yet, I got rid of the Zogna on the sponges. I think I mentioned that last time. The other thing is Fagnots. I have picked option 1 for Fagnots, which will allow me to get deuterium from gas bladders, which could be pretty useful. Just being able to skip a lot of the infrastructure involved in making deuterium in the first place. And we will need deuterium. For reference, we actually do need this stuff. The dry gas stream isn't as useful. I did this for deuterium. Now, the other stuff is okay. The other options are okay. I just wanted access to a new product on this. Reducing the fiber cost is nice. Reducing fiber cost is nice, although Kickoff makes fiber, it just reduces a processing step on here. So that is a savings in overall infrastructure costs and entity costs for option 3. This is also somewhat of an entity savings by increasing your cub output. But honestly, I'd rather remove deuterium. Since Fagnots aren't necessarily needed for too much, I would want this. This would actually give me a reason to make Fagnots. These other options don't really give me a reason to make Fagnots outside of the minimum necessary for perfect samples. I'm assuming I need them for perfect samples. You need, like, something of everything for perfect samples, so I'm assuming Fagnots are part of that. But in that case, you need, like, one. What ends up being the case with perfect samples is that you need a lot of these advanced creatures, but what you end up needing is, like, one building of late game buildings of those advanced creatures, for the most part. And, yeah, it, whatever bonus we get from here won't matter for that, for all intents and purposes. So yeah, I think that's what I picked that's new. I believe I've talked about everything else here at some point. Right, oh yeah, I forgot completely that I did redo the Fawagi. I did redo my sulfuric acid. I removed the old sulfuric acid, which was this entire block. I replaced it with abiotic methane production, converting syngas and nickel into methane. So that is a thing. It was useful. This is 1,000, I think, methane per second production. And it's getting used. And it's getting used. And up here I have rebuilt my sulfuric acid. This is producing 1,000 sulfuric acid per second. It is an upgrade over the 700 and something, 740 something that I was making prior. This time we are productive. on the sulfuric acid part, and we are productive on the sulfur atomization. And I am using algae plantations at Mark II, along with Mark II modules and Mark II spore collectors. I will note that I have fewer algae plantations than what Hellmod told me I needed at the time, because Hellmod does not take into account the speed bonus that you get to these buildings through module effect. That also applies when you pick this option to add this recipe here. So this recipe, oxygen, oxygen with sulfur and algae to make acid gas. So I have my oxygen here. I have sulfur from algae here, and then essentially algae plus algae equals acid gas. So there we go. This is significantly fewer entities than previously, and it is producing more. So more for less is always nice, and I will take it. Alright, we've made the things, so we can head off and we can build the great alien samples. I do not believe that YAFC is going to properly apply these module effects either, unless it has been updated to do so specifically. I do not know off the top of my head if you are able to force a building to have like +1 module slots so you can apply that module effect to the building. Because that's one way to do it. Another way is to apply some hidden beacon entity for the building. And where do I want to build this? Where do I want to build this? Because it's going to be a rather large train station. I'll do it here. Get rid of all that. Huh. Yeah, I don't know why, but Hellmod used to be able to handle, like, these hidden beacon things. Like, this was a thing that Hellmod used to be able to do. With, like, any of the turd upgrades. Like, it used to work fine. Well, even that had its weaknesses. So the way that it used to work with the old turd upgrade system was that Hellmod was able to see a hidden beacon entity that you could select as a beacon type that would accept the specific module types that would be applied specific to that building and that specific hidden beacon type. The downside was that you can't select multiple types of beacons to assign to a building. So you couldn't say to Hellmod that I will have one beacon that has this specific module effect that gets applied to this building, and also this other beacon type with like speed modules or efficiency modules on it. So it complicated some aspects of late game planning, but that was acceptable because we could still get decent values with those hidden module effects. But it looks like they're working on it. In the current iteration, it does not see hidden beacon effects. I don't even know if it's still really using it in the same way. Pretty sure it's not doing it in the same way, and that's why I can't see it. Um, but yeah, just anyway. That will eventually come. We will eventually be able to make better plans regarding that. It would be very nice, specifically for, yeah, I guess both the speed and the productivity on the creature buildings. Being able to assign that upgrade, as well as have the full set of modules to assign to creatures and creature modules, so we get a very accurate representation of the exact building counts that we need for a given production requirement. That would be very nice. Alright, what do we need in this factory for great alien samples? How many inputs? A lot. Short answer, a lot. We need no fewer than 9 solids and 3 fluids. Conveniently sorted. Everything up top is a solid and everything below is a fluid. And I just happen to know off the top of my head that this is 9 items long. Alright, 2, 3, 4. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Scroll down. 1, 2, 3. Now, you know what? I can actually do that myself. So because of my red belt shortage, I need to be a bit more cognizant. I need to recognize that I do have a shortage of splitters specifically that can come back to bite me when we build the diamond chain at the towards the end of today's stream. So I need to be very careful and not use red splitters specifically if I don't need to use red splitters. How are we looking on the water stuff here? I want to like delete everything. Remove all water. Landfill the everything. Alright. I have landfilled enough. Alright, we are making formamide. I don't remember if I ever put formamide. No, I did not. So we're going to make this stuff local. This uses all 3 of the fluids. Okay, so, well, I guess it's going to be up here. The Ollie is emerging from the window. Ollie. Ollie. Down. He's standing on my air purifier. Is he gonna come? Yes. There's Ollie. Hello. Hello, big Ollie. Hello, big boy. Yeah, that's the Ollie. Coming from the window. I need 4 of these. What is the best orientation for this? That works. Oh, right, I don't need the, I don't need the methanol permanently. Methanol is temp. Yeah, it's great alien samples. That's it. That's the way. It's grass. We're making grass today at the start. Glorious grass. This one is ammonia at... Yeah, great alien samples, the greatest of great. And copy that. 4 of you. I shouldn't do it this way. Did I do it this way at, There's another place that had formic acid that I made through this. It was at bedding. Where's my bedding? Bedding. Hi. How did I do you? Exactly like this. Okay. Sure. Fine. I could have just copied this. Methanol. Carbon dioxide. It's such a low amount that I probably should just make this on site, but whatever is fine. Is fine. Because I said is fine. There we go. That will be that. And then it's 7 of you. Oh god. This just make half of a great alien sample. I need like 0.11, I think, for the science. Yeah, 0.11 for a half of a science pack. So that'll be a thing. Note that by the end of the day today, what we will still need to make. I still need to put mechanical parts on the train network. I will do this off screen. But I want to upgrade my glassware. I'll probably also do that off screen. But we will only really need acrylic, bio-ore, Negacium, nanofibrils, and Arcod propolis. And we'll be done at that point. Hey, big boy. Going up. Going up. There he goes. Hello. And off he goes back to the window. Great. So we will be much closer. I think that the biggest chain will be bio-ore of the stuff that remains. Of like the 5 items that are left to make this stuff. I very much can see that we may get this next week. Potentially. Depends on how long it takes me to do this stuff. If I have the forethought to actually build the train stations ahead of time, I think I could do this next week. Anyway. Grass. One, 2, 3, 4, 5 belts. Yep, 5 belts of input and 1 of output for 6 total belts. With pipes. Wonderful. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Yes, the greatest of great until you get to perfection. And there you have it. That is all of the inserters. Huzzah. Huzzy, huzzoo, huzzum. I guess they... Oh, right. Ahem. So here's the thing about the methanol. I'm building this factory here. Methanol gets produced here. All the way over here. So from the furthest to the right to the furthest to the left, these trains must travel. It's a good thing I don't need a consistent supply of these things. Chitin will take a while because it's the same-ish deal with that. Yeah. So for this, I'll probably have the graphene rolls on their own, taking up one of these internal lanes. But I don't think it's really gonna matter, all things considered. Especially since all of this has to get into here. And we need you. Ta-da, there's our formamide. Guess ultimately nothing here matters too much. Oh, I actually need more biosamples than anything else, so I don't have that many biosamples. I don't have that many biosamples. Is this productive? I always forget. One would think that the container recipe, yes, the container recipe is productive, but the actual biosample recipe is not. Yeah, I would need 75 of you. This isn't too bad. It's a lot of titanium, though. and a pretty, a few native flora. I will need to do that between streams. That's going to be one of my weekend projects I need to make note of. Scale native flora to Mark II collectors, or harvesters, that's what they're called for these. I don't know, collectors, whatever. I also, between streams, would like to have dedicated builds producing natural gas and ethylene chlorohydrin, and I want to scale my nuclear processing specifically for the plutonium 242 and 239, or whatever I need. Whatever I need for fuel rods. I will need to make Mark I fuel rods and Mark II fuel rods. And that, yeah, that's gonna be a thing. Our graphene, our chitin, Arthurian eggs. Kitties returned. Our primers. Those are primers, right? Yes. DNA polymerase. Glassware. Our good alien samples. The goodest of good. At great. And our poor alien samples. At great. So both of the previous levels of samples required for this. Now, I'll note that I currently have 15 per second of glassware. I intend on scaling that to 30 with the best possible recipe that I have access to that uses purified quartz. And in that way, I will be able to reduce the overall amount of rubber spent on glassware. Arthurian eggs. Come on down. Chitin, come on down. Graphene rolls. I said rolls. And biosamples, which, yeah, we're not gonna have enough of those. Just full stop, we will not have enough biosamples. Nothing here, I think, is stacked. I don't believe that my biosamples get stacked. I didn't notice anyway. So this will be an inside lane. It doesn't really matter what is left on its own, but whatever is left on its own should be on the on a furthest out lane. So probably that primers, I think. I don't believe I've stacked chitin. No. This will be the other inside lane because we need a lot of both of these. Autosave is autosaving. Surprised I'm not stacking glassware. Alrighty then. That should be that. Give it power. Yeah, so just once we get some biosamples brought in, we will have great alien samples, and that will mean that I will be able to make a lot more creatures. Wonderful. The reason why I'm planning on overproducing on these is that I will need extras, at least temporarily, for making the first versions of creatures, like Dilmo, which I will need to have Dilmo eggs. And I currently actually have my first Dingrit. Those are online, ready to go. All right. That, as they say, is that. Define the factory. Great. Great. And great. Excellent. That'll be something I have to bring to the mall before really anything else. Alright, take me to our next mission. Greece! Greece, do I even have desulfurizators? On me. No. I do not. Am I even making them? That's the wonderful question of the day. Am I even making desulfurizators? I don't believe that I am. Not even the Mark 1s. So back to the mall we go. So I can set that up. Hey, thank you so much for returning as a member of the channel. Hey, we've got a Dolly. Dolly's coming to say hi. Yes, hello, welcome back as a member, continuing your membership. We're just relaxing. So we're about to make grease. We've just set up the factory that makes great alien samples. And now is grease time. Now is grease. The method I'm going to use to make grease is one that involves not using fish oil to make lubricant, basically. Grease has actually gotten a bit odd lately. So grease, there's only really the one way to make grease, and that's this way. Because I don't think that this recipe even is available anymore. There's the 2-for-1, but where's like the other grease? Oh, there it is. It's at small parts 3. It's at the next science level where you can actually get this particular grease recipe, and yet you need grease before you get here. Okay. Sure thing. So we have this. We need to have distillates. I've got something I can copy paste for distillates. Technically, I don't even need to copy paste because I should have enough low distillates as like a byproduct of other processes, but I don't like doing that. Generally speaking, I've had to many times in this playthrough have systems with multiple outputs, aka tar processing, but not gonna do that here. I'm gonna have dedicated stuff for my things, even though that does mean I will need to spend more oil overall. But for this, in order to make lubricant, there are multiple ways of getting into lubricant. I'm gonna go and make it out of aromatics rather than out of olefins plus oleochems, and rather than out of fish oil, rather than out of wax. Even like low distillates titanium tetrachloride based stuff, I'd still think I'd rather do this. The heavy oil one is interesting, but it is Nextlit that you have to spend for it. Because you can do heavy oil from Keragen. You can do heavy oil from Keragen. Speaking of which, because you can use sand extractors to get stone at this point in the game, I think it's actually better to void stone from stone mining and use stone patches as Keragen patches rather than as stone patches, because you can just make your stone locally wherever you need it at the cost of a little bit of iron, which gets lower in the later phases of the game. Like when I get Bob's modules at level 8 at Purple Science, that'll be amazing, because iron sticks is a productive step, as is the actual conversion of the sticks into stone or sand or gravel or anything else. So yeah, I think it ends up being like overall simpler to do it that way and like not even use the stone that you're mining anymore. And I'm totally doing that at another place that uses a bunch of stone. I'm like using my sand extractors for stone somewhere, a whole bunch of it. I forget the factory. There was something that uses a ton of stone. What was it? I'm trying to remember. It was something fairly recent. Stone. You know what? I did it for moss. That's what it was. Here. Yeah. This build. So my moss factory, this produces 150 moss per second. An entire full compressed, stacked red belt of the stuff. This uses a lot of stone, and I am sand extracting the stone here productively. It uses a fair amount of iron, don't get me wrong, but yeah. This is the thing. So do I even have these? No, of course not. This is not productive. Therefore, I'm only using the... Oh, this is productive? Really? Well, if I have Mark II's access, then sure. I didn't even realize that that particular recipe was productive. That reduces my aromatics requirement here on the lube. On the lube. I'll need to bring in a solid fuel to void that sulfur. I think the desulfurizators are here. Yeah. Do I have the Mark II? Might be no. I don't see it. Unfortunate. We do not get the Mark II until Mining Machines Stage 4. The Mark II desulfurizator, the Mark II grease table, and yet we get the Mark IV fluid mining drill at that point. Great. Fantastic. Where do we get the rest of the Mark IV mining machines? At Machines. It's just called Machines 5. And you get the Desulfurizator Mark III and Grease Table Mark III. And that's where it ends. There's actually only 3 of grease tables and desulfurizators. But there is a Mark IV that doesn't exist anymore because there's no way to unlock it. Great. Fantastic. What wonderful design. There's probably a Mark IV grease table that exists. Yeah, there's a Mark IV grease table that exists with no way to get it. Thanks. Thanks for having buildings that totally are defined and exist and there's no method to get them. I mean, I understand that it's coming later and that there isn't really a good way to add that it's not... where it won't make as much sense because it comes so much later, where you get that introductory building. But desulfurizators used to be a lot earlier. They actually used to be available earlier, I believe. But they just got pushed back. Don't know why exactly, but oh well. Now we gotta hang out for a sec to make 10 of these things. Because we need to build this factory. Need to. We're not actually losing particularly much time here. We have to do this for the diamond chain. Diamonds must use grease in the processing. We can talk about the diamond chain though, while we wait. Okay. I should mention that I have built an industrial solvent factory off screen. That is producing, I don't even know how much at this point. I think it's 250 industrial solvent. I've done this chain a little bit differently than I have done it in the past. I have set this up to do something differently. In the past, I would choose, or I have chosen, to process diamond rejects into additional grade 2 kimberlite. I have done this in the past because doing this does reduce the amount of ore that you need. This gives you the most diamonds per unit ore by going this route. However, as it turns out, by doing this, what ends up happening is that you are going to spend more of these other input ingredients. Fairly significantly more of these other input ingredients. So if I have this here, Hellmod actually tells me it is better to produce processed rejects and screen them or separate them than it is to do it through the grade 2 route. If I get rid of this and all of the diamond rejects get reprocessed in this, you can see that it's 32.79 rocks of the ore, but we go up to needing 160.8 grease. We need 214 slaked lime, 214 organic solvent, 150 sulfuric acid, 200 aromatics, 100 industrial solvent. is a lot. Is a lot. It's a lot. And then the moment you screen, we go 32.91, not even that big of a difference on the rocks, but we go down to 60 industrial solvent, 60.44, less than 100 grease, 129 organic solvent, 90 sulfuric acid, 129 slaked lime, 120.9 aromatics. The expensive inputs are vastly reduced. And we end up with like nearly 30 chromite sand. Just gonna point that out. And it provides limestone to offset the amount of infrastructure that you need producing limestone for this. Because you need lime. If you're doing the lime local, it will offset your limestone cost for producing lime. So that's a thing to note, a big thing to note here. How many of these have we gotten? 2 entire units. By the way, I am in the process of upgrading to stackers, to stack inserters. To stack inserters. I have set up a factory that will produce stack inserters for me. It's just taking some time to build them. Do I not bring Molly to the ball? I do not? What is this shenaniganery? Am I stacking Molly? No, I do not. Alright. Okay. Molybdenum. Molybdenum. There it goes. Ta-da. Come on, bots. Come on, do the thing. Thank you. The Molly is on its way. Oh yeah, and I have graphene rolls here. Just FYI. Graphene rolls are in. How are we doing? 4! Titanium? Titanium is the biggest pain in the butt here. I did scale titanium at some point. I made it so that it's producing the molten titanium, I'm pretty sure. La-di-di. Yeah. Yeah. I did molten-based titanium processing. And it makes a lot. It makes a lot more titanium than I used to make. It isn't full-on high-grade processing. Not full-on high-grade. It is producing high-grade. But it's not Interesting. Oh, right, because it's producing more molten than it is processing into plates. Because I need molten on the train network. Eventually. I apparently didn't actually add it to the train network when I should have. But anyway, this is processing 75 ore into molten and then just making plates with that molten. Not all of the molten is getting processed into plates. But this is a hybrid system that is processing this precipitate as well as high grade, because processing the precipitate is rather expensive. To process that precipitate. At least I think that's what it's called. What is it called? What is it in this specific instance? Is it a powder? I don't even see it in this list. Hello? It is a titanium enriched dust. Okay, that's what it's called. It's enriched dust. Alright. How we doing? Are we close? We have 9. One more. One more. Go. More titanium? You need even more? Bring it. Bring it all. You need like 50 units. Wow, 50 plates per desulfurizator. At least it's a Z now. Desulfurizator. Thank goodness that got fixed. It used to be an S. And I complained about it every single time that I would see this building. Alright. So, Greece. Because this mod uses US English spellings, not British, for the most part. There's still a few things that are using the British spellings rather than the US spellings. I think one came up recently. There was a random use of an S when it should have been a Z somewhere that I don't remember seeing. Don't remember at the moment. There was something, though. But at least this one's fixed. Alright, where am I going? Where am I going? I'm going here. I've already built the train station for this. I just need to bring in the stuffs. Oh, I need to change this to fluid station. Oops. Whoopsies. But that's fine. Whatever. I should have this. Hello. This is that same thingy. I don't need 11, I need 8. But I can just straight up copy paste from you. So this will produce the stuff. Get rid of that guy. Oh, where's the steam input? There it is. Have I arrived yet? Yes. Crude oil. Where's the crude oil? There you are. Tin chromium alloy. And you need to be replaced with the other thing. There you go. Give power to the everything. Excellent. I need to void the outputs that I'm not using. That includes middle and this guy. And up, the upness. Upness, that's you. So what we're working with is down, the low distillates for this. And I need the input, oil. Oil is here. Okay. Desulfurizators. Oh yeah, I need to add the solid fuel. Completely forgot that I do need to add the solid fuel here. Unless I can just... Can I just straight up kill sulfur by fluidizing it? Not without hydrogen peroxide, because screw you. Yeah, no good way. I could do it by doing the alt method, the alt recipe with the Faugi, because I can get Faugi. I can get Faugi for free on site without needing to bring anything in, as well as oxygen. And that would allow me to fluidize sulfur into sulfuric acid, or, well, into acid gas, and I could vent the acid gas, get rid of it in that way without having to have any input added, but this is easier, simpler, just bring in the thing. Okay, I need 10 of these. Of these wonderful buildings. You don't need that many, or that strong of inserters, that fast of inserters for your output. Stack it. Void it. There we go. Okay, just add aromatics. Ta-da! And that is making lube. Glorious lube. 3 of this. Oh, I'm not carrying these? I don't have these? Heavy oil refineries? I didn't even pay attention. Oh no. Right. This is not productive, so it does not need to be Mark II. Mark 1 should work fine, and I should be carrying Mark 1s. There we go. There we go. Now, I'll note that saving 3 entities does not matter in the grand scheme of things. What I intend on doing over this weekend, actually, is replacing a lot of my sand, all of my sand, with sand extractors, spending iron to make sand. And in doing so, everywhere that I'm doing that, I will save thousands of entities. That is the scale of entity reduction we're talking about by making that change. And that will be impactful. And that is a necessary thing that I will need to do to help improve my performance, even just a small amount. Alright, just add the catalyst, which not much catalyst necessary. Because you have to think, everywhere that I'm doing anything related to glass at the moment is producing like 75 pure sand per second, right? That can be completely replaced. All of the sand part of that pure sand can be replaced with sand extractors that are productive. So anywhere that I'm doing that, like here, like imagine all of this, 160 160 soil extractors, 80 Mark 1 washers can be, we can have the number of washers and add in less than 60, not even 60, like 30 something of those Mark II sand extractors that will eat iron sticks, and that reduces even the belt count considerably too. The belt count goes way down. The pipe count is basically eliminated for the most part. It goes way down on pipes, and the building count goes way down as well. And I have this exact thing repeated several times around the base. And by fixing that, by getting rid of that and replacing it with something that is more efficiently designed with fewer entities, that should ideally improve my performance quite considerably if I do it everywhere. The problem with that is that it will take time to physically build enough of those Mark II sand extractors that I will need. Anyway, we have grease. Grease is greasy. We has it. It's here. Huzzah. The greasening. Right on time for the halfway point for the stream. That is my alarm to indicate that we are halfway through the stream. I'm going to get this train online. supply grease, depot grease, full cargo, circuit condition, go, be free, define, grease, the greasiest. Save that. It is now that time to take a brief break. When I return, I'm going to take a slight detour and I'm going to build 2 factories, 2 very, very simple 3-ingredient factories before we start diamonds. One of which is for lead containers, the other one is passivation layers. Why do I want lead containers? Because you need lead containers for fuel rods, A. You also need lead containers for coated containers for fuel rods, B. And we're going to need Mark 1 fuel rods if I want to make megamines. If I want megamines, and if I want more silver, I'm going to need these fuel rods. And if I need photos, I'm going to need fuel rods, right? And if I need neodymium magnets at any point, which I don't need neodymium magnets to get into the next tech level, by the way. If I need neodymium iron boron alloy, I will need these fuel rods. If I want heavy fermium material, I will need these fuel rods. But in particular, if I need cobalt chromium alloy, which I do if I want to build megamines, I will need fuel rods for these. And you can't get fuel rods unless you have this. I technically have the plutonium-239 for these fuel rods. I have it. It's being made. It is being made. It's part of the nuclear sample build. But I want a separate build that is going to be producing these, like, plutonium isotopes for fuel rods. And then we can have a conversation about setting up cobalt chromium alloy, like, next week. But, yeah, I want to make sure that we get this done now. With that, I'll take a brief break. I'll be back in just a few minutes. And I have returned. Welcome back. Ollie just jumped down off the desk. He was right there. But oh well, there he goes. He gone. He's left. He might be back. We shall see. We've still got Dolly though. Yeah, we've still got the Dolly. Yesterday she was hiding. There was I think she was scared yesterday. She was quite scared. There was a lot of noise outside. One of our neighbors on like our diagonal was having their entire roof redone. Now I gotta give those roofers credit. There were a bunch of guys out. They did the whole thing in one day. Like they completely re-roofed this house in one day. Took everything off. Everything went. They like resurfaced the whole thing. And they finished in a day. They started at like 7 in the morning. And they went the whole day. But they got it done. But it was very loud. It was very loud. Lots of hammering, lots of the nail guns firing. And yeah, she was not happy. She found a spot to hide in the den, and we didn't know where she was. I knew she was somewhere in the den, most likely, but I had to hunt her down in there. I had to move a lot of stuff out of the way to find where she was. She was behind an antique clock that was like leaning against the wall. She was like in a very, very tiny little cavity. She found herself the smallest of cavities to get in, and that's where she was. She eventually came out, but she looked scared. She was like trying to go back to a hiding spot. But she found a better, more accessible spot. I was like, okay, now it'll be easy enough for me to see that you're in there. I just need to know where you are. Just need to know where the kitty is. Because she has a penchant for not coming out for food. I need to be able to find her to pull her out to give her food at dinner time. Now she's in a better spot. She's like underneath a foosball table in the den, which, you know, is covered with stuff right now. We can't even use the dang thing. And it's like, it was super cheap. It was like literal roadside special on that. Someone was tossing it out. They picked it up. So now we have it. So we have our grease. I want to make my factory that produces these lead containers, as well as the factory that produces passivation layers. Now, passivation layers, it's the ingredient I need for Pi Science, so it's like part of our progression. This one, not exactly part of our progression. It is currently optional at this point in time. There's the passivation layer. Where did I build this guy? As Dolly starts grooming. Lead containers. Oh hey, there's Ollie. Hi. Oh, now you're gonna nuzzle? Now you're gonna nuzzle my hand on the keyboard? Now you want pets? Now Ollie wants some attention? Alright, go in here. Going right down on here. This is a very simple factory. We're done. Not quite. Not fully, but, you know, logistics. But there's our factory. That's it. That's the factory for this. It's super simple. I just wanted to get it out of the way. Question. Do you want to keep seeing me do this? Even though this item is new. Do you want to keep seeing me do this over time? Because, for reference, there's going to be many, many, many more instances of this the further that we get into the save. The more progress we get through, the higher the tech level we get, the more types of instances this will be a thing where you have a few items in to one item out, and those few items in are stuff that we've already made, where we're like one step removed from stuff that we've already done. Like, how much of a benefit is it really to watch me do this for 10 million times versus building a full production chain of stuff? Like, these little one item output things are not all that thrilling to watch being built, especially when it's just some random intermediate. Granted, an important one, but not that important in the grand scheme. How am I going to do this? I'm going to do this and this. Again, using far fewer loaders than I usually would, just to save on my splitters. I'll try to be limiting myself to just the one step removed rather than two, but like, I wouldn't want to make coded containers off screen. I would want to make coded containers together as an example, because the advanced coding in particular, like, at minimum I would want to do the advanced coding together, right? Because, you know, that's Kaido-san, and we have to do the whole Kaido-san route together, and it's diamonds to get into the advanced coding. And we need advanced coding on the train network as advanced coding because of, look at all of this stuff. Look at all of this stuff, this big list of things that uses advanced coding. But in particular, coded containers need them. And that's used for purple science. And Mark II fuel rods, which I need for super steel. You know, that particularly important item, super steel, we need Mark II fuel rods, which means we need coded containers and boron. We'll do the boron chain together. Most definitely. And it needs americium-243, which is made out of plutonium-242 in particle accelerators. Yeah, and this lithium hydroxide, I'm uncertain what I even have a need for at this moment for the lithium plates. I'm not going to be doing nuclear power, I think, ever in this save. Just so as we're clear on that. Alright, so we need iron niobium. Iron niobium alloy. I need lead antimony alloy. And I need aramid. So I believe that the aramid will be on this outside lane all on its own. And, you know, in every playthrough that I've done, we have come to this point, and I have asked this question, and I believe that universally it has been like accepting, just do it off screen. But you never know. That may change. The answer may change at some point. Some folks may want to see the whole thing. If it's new, do it together. But still, like, it's just so simple, though. It's just so simple doing like this one-step factory. All right. The grease I wanted to do together just because I don't think we have done together the the distillation yet. I wanted to have something to show distillation, and we haven't used the desulfurizator like at all yet. So yeah, I wanted to show this chain, even though this is the base of this is something that I'm using, that I've done off screen for some other items that we can make through distillation, or that are ingredients that we've made before. So things like benzene. I'm doing distillation for benzene. I'm doing distillation for phenol, ultimately, for phenol and acetone, and using the acetone to make aromatics and organic solvent as my end game method, actually, of producing these things. Specifically for the organic solvent, for the ammonia, I will supplement ammonia with dedicated abiotic ammonia through nitrogen and hydrogen, but theoretically, the way that I'm producing the acetone via cumene, via the the distillation of crude oil, theoretically, those two methods to get the ammonia organic solvent, for ammonia, it's similar in cost, although abiotic ammonia is simpler. It's far simpler to do it that way, and chromium is very abundant as chromium plates. So there is that. These should start moving. I just need a train. Here, we're already done with this. I will likely need more of this as time goes on. But, yeah, I already have named the thing, so lead containers, supply depot, full cargo, and circuit condition. Do I keep an Excel spreadsheet or something? So this is my spreadsheet. I mean, I don't know how to define Hellmod other than a spreadsheet. This is a spreadsheet. For all intents and purposes, this is a spreadsheet. So, yeah, I use this. I have beaten the game. I have beaten Pyandon's mods without using a spreadsheet or factory planning software before. I have done this thing before. It was before PyAlien Life existed and before alternative energy, of course. But I have done it. I did it with Pi High Tech installed, and the whole Pi suite at the time. The first time I played through this game, I did it without any factory planning software. I literally did the math by hand on ore processing, which sucked, by the way. Yeah. I calculated the loops by hand. In, yeah, like, did my own matrix solving by hand. It sucks. Don't do it. Use a factory planning software. Please. Please, God. Do this thing. It helps a lot. So, it is possible to do these things without needing outside help. Like, I proved all there was to prove on my first playthrough of this game, and subsequent playthroughs, I really don't have anything to prove anymore. That's why I play with all these quality of life things. It's like, I do it because it's more convenient to me. Like, I don't need the challenge. Nor do I want the challenge anymore. I'm going back just to restock. I still want to do the passivation layer factory, which I've set up somewhere. The passivation layer factory is 2 whole steps. Woohoo. It's 2 steps. It's 3 ingredients. And one of them doesn't even count because it's fuel. Because it's fuel. It's literally 2 ingredients into 1. To make the passivation layer. Do I need only 1? How much do I need? 0.42. Okay, I'm okay with 1. I'm okay with that. Then how much? What else uses this besides this alt science recipe? Cells, poly and monocrystalline cells, and a turd upgrade kickoff plantation. Woohoo! It's this. It's just this. For all intents and purposes, it's just this. I've had max rate calculator installed before. What I realized when using it was that I never actually used it. So I stopped having it in my saves, just because I didn't use it for anything. There was no reason for me to use it. Nothing pushed me to ever use it. Don't know how or why. It just never really happened. Speaking of stuffs, how's this stuffs? How much is on the way of this stuffs? We've got 72. Okay, 72 more splitters. We've got 94 more undergrounds, and we've got another 1,626. Yeah. Yeah, that bottleneck is a little bit more alleviated a little bit. I believe I've now gotten my advanced small part production back to what it was before, or at least close to it. Ta-da! Yes, it's moving. It's moving! And that's important, that it's moving. So happy to see it moving. That it actually has its rubber in. Still rubber bottlenecked. I will need to add more rubber. I do have a better rubber recipe that I can use for this. And I do intend on doing it. We have the third recipe here, styrene, that I will use to make 30 rubber this time rather than 15. We will get our carbon black out of that stuff. We will get, somehow we will get 450 spare anthracene oil. We need to make styrene. Only one method of making styrene. I've got these things. I'll need to make the ethylene, though. Don't like making ethylene. I really don't. It's way too much aloe fruit if I do it in that way. So this way, I have the methane. I'll have to scale my oxide at some point. This uses a bunch of salt, but I don't really need to spend salt. I don't really need to spend salt for this because of... Where are you? This. And this exist. Yeah. So I have the phenol. I will have the latex. I'll need to scale the latex a little bit, I think. I have 7.5 latex right now. Yeah. So there you go. There you go. That's like the factory that I will eventually make. And Ollie is here, licking his tail. That's gonna happen probably over the weekend. We'll see. I've got a lot of factories to build, don't I? I've got a lot of factories to build over the weekend. You're still bringing me things. You're still bringing me things. How many more things are you still sending me? 312 more of these belts are on their way. Alright, looks like I don't need to be stingy anymore on my splitters, so huzzah. It's not as stingy. I'll need to be a little bit on the underground belts, because holy god, I only have 510 of the underground belts, with 7 on their way. Yeah, alright, I'm off. I'm leaving. Making passivation layers. And then we can do diamonds. We have like an hour to do diamonds. That's fine, right? Can we do that in an hour? Where's that passivation thingy? Passivation. Did I define lead containers? No. Lead containers. Huzzah! Stuff, things. May as well like define passivation, right? There we go. Ta-da! Good thing I checked. Could you not lick your paw when your paw is on top of my phone? Ollie? Ollie? Yes, big boy. Big boy. Yeah, right next to my keyboard. He wants his attention. Yes, he wants his attention. Dolly's just sleeping behind my head. You're licking the table. He's licking the table now. For whatever reason. It's because pets equals licks, by the way. Or cats, if you're petting your cat, that they think you're licking them. It feels like grooming to them. You are grooming them when you are petting them. And that's why they start licking. That's why they start licking and start grooming themselves when you're petting them, because they think it's grooming time. They think it's just that time. Alright, let's do this. Let's get this over quick. Silver. Plates. Quote-unquote plates. Aluminium. Plates and gasoline. I should be needing more gasoline soon, but whatever. I'll deal with that when it becomes an issue. Ta-da! This stuff, aluminium silver alloy. I'm not sure what else I need this for. What else needs this besides this? Later stuff. I'll worry about it later. Lick, 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 lick. He's a licker. Is Ollie a licker? Yes, he's a licker. Ta-da! Alright, that is that. Da-ba. Da-Ali. And we're done with that. I think. Just gotta get the gas in, and we will have this alloy getting made, and then that converts directly into passivation layers. All right. It is now time for diamonds. Beautiful, glorious, wonderful diamonds. Oh boy. All right. I need a lot of space for the diamonds. I think this is a good place right here, this side. Yeah. As I mentioned last time, I have already begun mining, or I am mining the diamonds. The diamonds are fine. They're all on the literal opposite end of the map than where I'm going to be building the thing, but I am mining them. I am mining enough of them between the two locations where I'm mining kimberlite. This is not stacked, but hey, we're doing it. We've got our rocks, our glorious kimberlite rocks, just in here, all that belt getty, and then over on the edge, over here we've got. I've tapped into 3 out of the 4 areas over here. Just particularly high density of kimberlite nodes. I mean, there's more here I can tap into. I am not lacking in kimberlite nodes. Not lacking at all. So within this next hour, we will wrap up this build, ideally. Ideally, we'll build the whole thing, and it'll be glorious. I can put the water thingy, and that'll tell me I need 12 total stations. Most of these are fluids. Cool. Reminder that I do have slaked lime. I have slaked lime from my acetylene build, and I'm pretty sure I've set it up to void the acetylene to make sure that I have the slaked lime constantly. Where are you? Acetylene. Here. Oh, really? Yes, I am. So yeah, I do have this set up so that it does void acetylene to maintain production on slaked lime. It's also set up to not void if both are full. So it allows the factory to stop if I don't need the production. Fill all that crap in. We've got some water that needs destroying. It'd really help if the game was not running at half speed, less than half speed. Just for reference. We are below 30 frames per second. At least while doing this. So, what are the primary concerns with the diamond processing chain? The primary concern with diamond processing is that it requires very high throughputs on the intermediates. That is the biggest point of complexity in diamonds. It needs a lot of throughput for specific multiple intermediates. We will need more than red belt of throughput, which is why I have stacking, although I am uncertain what I can use stacking for. Like, can I stack rejects? No! I do not have access to stacking rejects. Until purple science. Alright. This is one of those things that needs to be adjusted for the current progression. You used to not need diamonds until purple science. Or I think that's true. I think that's true. I think you used to unlock diamond chain at purple. So it makes sense that the stacking would unlock purple. But diamonds have been moved up considerably on the tech tree. So now this is just going to be massively annoying because we will not have access to any stacking whatsoever. Alright. Alright. We just have to deal with it without stacking. How many solids do we have? Bang. And off he runs. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 solids as inputs. Alright. And that means that we then have 8 fluids. Yep. 8 fluids. Ta-da! And that is our train station for diamonds. Fortunately, of these inputs, I can do stacking. Or use stacking on everything, I guess, but the kimberlite rock. Right? Right. Even if I wanted to stack the kimberlite rocks, I could not do so because of the tech requirement being purple science. Thanks, mod. Thanks, compatibility mod. It's greatly appreciated. They need to change that. They need to fix that. I need to be able to access stacked items when I build this factory. I don't even know why the stacking is even tech locked to begin with for the actual stacking recipes. We should just have access to all of them at all times, and have the text just unlocking the stackers, the speeds of the stackers. Like, come on. There's no good reason to block access to the stacking recipes. The whole point is that it's convenience. The whole idea is that it's convenience. So, like, what the hell? Okay, we're gonna start the factory with the back-end stuff that needs to get made, which includes the lime. Do I want to do the lime, though? At the back end? That's gonna be a lot of belt. But I don't think there's a good way around it. Oh well. I will make the soda ash regeneration solution. First thing. I'll note that I technically have soda ash regeneration solution getting made in the base. The issue is that it's being used for the industrial solvent. This stupid machine. It always feels like it's as if this building is a tile larger than it actually is, and you have to sort of treat it that way because of all the stupid fluid ports. Ash in high throughputs. Alright, we have small parts, and we have ash. Request small parts at diamonds. S diamonds. D diamonds. Now, I hope as I build this, you understand why I would much rather do this through particle acceleration. I hope that the tedium of this build will help you to understand why I try to avoid this build as much as possible. What are the other solids that I will need here? I will need coke, and I will need the kimberlite. In my opinion, the entire thing needs to be rebalanced. Not necessarily rebuilt. Rebalanced. As in, the volumes of intermediates need to be adjusted considerably. Considerably. Oh, and diamond wires need to be, like, multiple item out. That recipe for diamond wires needs to be outputting at least 5 wires. At least 5 wires, not just one. Not just one. A single diamond should make several wires. A single diamond should be making many, many, many diamond wires. I don't even have the breakdown anymore because I deleted the thing. The breakdown of the silicon wafers. Like, there's no reason this quote-unquote upgraded silicon wafer recipe should be eating so many diamonds. None whatsoever. Like, the whole point is that's supposed to be upgrades. The whole point is that's supposed to be an upgrade. It is not an upgrade when it uses 6.32 diamonds or more. It was like over 7.5 without productivity. Like, what? Like, what? 5 diamonds per wire is obnoxious. So yeah, at least 5 wires. I would say 10 wires for these costs. Is absurd. Also, my train is not blocking anything. Okay, it's just taking a while for these dudes to deliver stuff to me. Let's go ahead and just put in the request for the coke and the diamonds, the kimberlite, rocks. I'll need to use both of these outputs. Ahem. Alright, next. That is those. For the soda ash. Oh yeah, water. Oh yeah, water, that's an important thing. Alright. Oh yeah, drilling fluid. I need the thing. Alright, drilling fluid. I do need that too. Might actually need to make more drilling fluid soon. I'm actually, if I add up everything that could use drilling fluid to, I'm pretty sure that the amount used if everything were running at 100% is actually greater than my current production. Which is at 500 per second, don't get me wrong, it's a lot. But I may need to bring that up to 1,000 soon. Which will likely also mean scaling up my guar. Cause guar needs a lot of stuff. This, can I... Limestone. Can I sand extract? You can excavate, you can separate, but you cannot use a sand extractor to get limestone, which is interesting. An interesting choice. A very interesting choice. This probably actually saves you a lot of entities. By the way, just so we're clear, I'm pretty sure this will actually save you on entities because the recipe for the soil extractor is supremely slow. Not if you have Bob's mods. Let's be clear. By the late game, with Bob's mods, with beacons, even on a very slow recipe for limestone, you can work that problem out. It's just going to use a lot of power. But this is actually an alternative, I think, if you don't have strong speed mods, speed modules. This might work out. I need to look a little bit more at that. It's tempting. Something to research. Now, how many of these do I need? 32. How many Mark IIs do I have? Do I have 16? Mark IIs? Yes, I have 16 Mark IIs, so we'll do 16 Mark IIs. That should be 16 Mark IIs. Cool. This is just for my own for my own sanity. Alright, I need to hurry it up. We only have like 40 minutes left on today's stream. Alright, that's moving. How much throughput is that? relatively low. 0.8. Alright, we can use these. I will need a radar. There we go. I do need to keep an eye out on how much extra power I have, because that will go down considerably when I scale my my nuclear related items, when I scale the plutonium isotopes. That yeah, that's going to use at least 10 more gigawatts pretty consistently. So that's that. Next is you. Autosave. All right. What is the total? 30.22. Thanks. Thanks, game. For 30.22. Thank you for unnecessarily making me have to do this for my outputs. So we hit 30 at 11. Or after 11. Or after, 18, excuse me. Yeah, 18. Alright. Let's copy paste. And just keep in mind when I get up to 18. This will be... what is the individual throughput on these? So what I want is to... I'll do something a little weirder than usual, but, you know, it happens. It happens. I'm gonna have this here. I'm gonna have that and that as like the thing that I can copy paste. We'll have this, and this will be the copy pasted unit. I will need this up top. And I will need to trim. Because that's going to be the Coke in. Coke is at 13. So Coke is at 13. Let's keep that in mind. This is the limestone. I'm just going to copy that. Whoops. 10. Oh, dang it, that thing is in the way. I'll have to redo that bottom. La da da da, you. One more. Alright. That is 19, yeah? Yeah. let's connect everything up top. At least try to. So where is 13? You are number 13. So you do that. And from there... this should just connect all the way down. Alright, this. What? Alright, I need to pay attention. I need to look here. That shouldn't have been a straight belt. Make sure... oh, that's completely missing. Great. That was missing. Alright. Good. I think that does it. Just add Coke. Okay, that should be all of the, like, intermediary stuffs. Oh, right, I need to, I do need to do this. I need to, like, do that, and I need to input priority right. Because I will be bringing in byproduct limestone that I will need to use all of from the end of the chain. I'll also need to split my coke for use as... for voiding. Because I'll have to void the chromite sand. Okay, now to actually work on the chain itself. Unfortunately, like, here's the other weird, really weird part about diamonds. There's no way to upgrade your diamond production. Like, none. It doesn't exist. The chain is the chain, and that's all you get the entire game. Unlike molybdenum, which is the chain that is the chain through the entirety of the game, but it takes productivity modules. Rare earth oxides is the chain that is the chain that lasts through the entire game, but it takes productivity modules. Niobium is the same chain throughout the entire game. It takes productivity modules. This chain, no productivity modules whatsoever. It's just, this is the chain. This is it. This is all you get. Okay. And I need to keep in mind, I do not have stacking. Okay. The rocks are in. Oh yeah, I need to do that. That's important. That's an important step. What? Oh. Oh. See, the problem with having this be so tall on its graphics, it makes it really difficult to actually do things. To actually build your base. When the art is just bad. Ah. Alright, you're operating, so god dang. 32.91 plus 9.88. Oh boy. Alright, 3. Getting stone. I hear my ollie. Why is my ollie meowing? More than 30, so I do need to use both of these lines. Okay. Do I want to set up the voiding here? That might be more beneficial. It means I won't need to have this belt line. Just design everything vertically. Nah. I'll do the void here. Bearing in mind it will need to get rid of multiple items. Not just this thing. There's its fuel. Alright. Next. 2. No, that's the rejects. Next is this step. We have crushed kimberlite that needs to get screened. Does this number equal 30, or is this greater than 30? I think that number is just ever so slightly greater than 30. It is 30.23. Thanks. It does not matter, because this last machine is going to have a throughput in and of itself that's going to be more than 0.23, so as long as we do our sorting on the final thing, I think it's fine. Oh boy, but inputs, though. Yeah, so after 7... Nine of these, yes. I could do the boring thing and, you know, actually have, like, splitters splitting the whole way, but no. No, not necessary. Also, cat. Ollie. Ollie hath returned, and he goes to the window immediately. Great. Thanks, Ollie. All you need is one splitter. It does not matter. It's only needing one. Now for the outputs. Oh boy. You need to filter your... What is it? Rejects? Rejects will filter... Rejects... Diamond... Kimberlite rejects. Now, theoretically, this works fine. You know what? No, it doesn't. It does not. You filter that and then go down and merge. Now, the reason why this does not work is that the splitter, I think, is limited. Splitter... Does it? It should work. This is safer. It should have worked the original way. Splitter can do 30 per line. It can do 30 per line, yeah, on in and out. So as long as any one in or out isn't more than 30, it should have worked fine. But anyway, this is just safer to do this in this specific manner. I'll merge, of course, on both sides. Then, rejects. Is anything else? No. Kill the rejects. Reprocess them. What are these reprocessing into? Crushed! Oh boy. Left. It'll be fine. Oh, and you have gravel. Wonderful. Do. There we go. Enjoy. Enjoy that loop. Oh boy. Next. That should be that done. Now we have this grade 1 kimberlite, the grade 1 kimberlite, all 16.79. Thank God it's not extra belts. I really do not think I'll be able to get this done in 20 minutes. Oh boy. Yeah. Because I do need proper spacing for all of this, or between every single thing. The output is stuck. Yeah, because I haven't built the next step yet. I have to build the next step and then bring it down, and it's fine. Like, we are in the middle of building. Okay, this has That's a lot of sand. Okay, that's a lot of sand. That is a lot of sand. That is a lot of sand. So this output will be interesting. Okay. There. Now it'll move. It'll move. Hello, welcome. Ah, okay. This is odd. Because I need to filter out this sand, for one. That's less than 30. That is 31.2, but this should be less than 30. So 4 every 4, great. A system that has 9. And there's no way to get around it either. Sand. Stacked. Oh, great. Yeah, that's great. Other way. The other way, buddy. Okay, the pipes are in the way. Of course they are. Of course they are. Huh. Wow, this is stupid. This is incredibly dumb. So I will have to move this. Whoops, not all that. I will need to move this over 1 tile. Ah, this is so dumb. This is so dumb. I'm gonna do the filter there. This is so dumb. Filter the what? What are we filtering? What is the next step? Is that a grade 2 kimberlite? Oh, that's the only grade 2 we get. All right. Versus grade 3. All right, yeah. Grade 2 kimberlite filtered. Excellent. Excellent. Now to play Kill the Sand. Time to play the Kill the Sand game. It would help if this belt was running in the correct direction. Breathe. Breathe. Next step. What do you make? More grade 3 and more gravel. Ta-da! Oh, that's grade 3. How much grade 3? Less than 30. Thank God. Next, we are taking our grade 3 with lime and aromatics and industrial solvent, and we are making kimberlite pulp out of it. Now, I could use standard mixers, or I could use Mark II mixers, and I will, in fact, use Mark II mixers, just to make this a little bit faster. It is not important to me whether or not we actually get diamonds today, so I may end the stream before we get the diamonds physically, because there is nothing that I will use the diamonds for that I need until we are on stream again anyway. Oh, it's 8. Went from 13 to 8. I may need the other rotation. Oh, I only have 7. Really? Really? Oh well. That is, of course, unless we meet our reward to stream an extra hour. We had a membership go through, so that brings it to 8. $8 more to be rewarded with streaming an extra hour for support over the course of the stream. It is, of course, completely optional. Okay, lime. Lime first. This is the lime. Unfortunately, the lime goes to like 6. Alright, and then we do the thing again. Lime. It's lime time. Oh. Right, 8. How did you not copy the middle thingy? Okay, now I need to get in the other solid ingredient, the kimberlite. I guess I could be on the other side, right? It's 3. Blue inserters will do it. I mean, either way, I have to spend a whole bunch of thingies. I could use loaders, but this uses less splitters. Although, is it really the splitters that I need? No, it's the... Hold on. Hold on. Redo. Rewind. It's actually the undergrounds that I'm having trouble carrying now. Of course. If I had chosen one tile off, or to the left, or to the right, excuse me, probably wouldn't have needed that, but oh well. Excuse me? Oh. Alright, that's that input. We need this and this, so... What? All right. This one is aromatics. And the one below it is industrial solvent. Aromatics. Industrial solvent. Low. Come on down. Power that. Power the everything, for that matter. And that will be that. Just gotta bring this guy over and in. And that is kimberlite pulp. Done. Happy? I think so. I think we are, in fact, somewhat happy. Where do those residues get used? In making rejects. Okay, in making rejects and gravel. Are you ready for the hard part? Are you ready for the more annoying part? So this is going to make more than 30 residues. We will have additional residues to go and get processed. This will not be our only source of diamond rejects either. Yay. And, of course, we need 31 of these buildings. I'm, of course, not going to be able to have 31 in a single line, so we're going to have 3 lines of 11 and have 33. You know, it would help if I aligned things properly from the get-go. It would also help if I had radar coverage. That would help dramatically. Now, how many of these do I even have on me? Because I might not even have enough, because the next step is 37 of these. Yeah, notice a problem with this? Yeah, this recipe is way too slow by comparison to all the other aspects of the chain. Don't know if you noticed that, but yeah, this is much too slow in comparison. And at this point, I am no longer going to be working on the logistics in between each of these steps. I'm just going to be doing the steps. This is both of those inputs, right? No, this is the soda ash in here, as well as the green. Yeah, the green. Then we have this, and that makes more of the blue. The diamond concentrate. So we turn the diamond tailings into diamond concentrate through this. Now this will be how many long? It'll be $13. by being 13 long. This does not have a... Or this does have a solid... Oh boy. Oh boy, same as here. Same as here. And it's making more than 30. Great, but at least I'm gonna have this in, like, sets of 3. More radar coverage. Get rid of this. Fill in the water. Am I even gonna have enough room? Am I even gonna have enough room for the several more steps I need to do after this? Probably not. Let's try to at least get a skeleton online, and then I can worry about the logistics later. AKA off screen. As long as I get the skeleton down. So just so we're clear. Yeah, this glorious thing. The grease tables. You produce solids, all of you, but you're producing the solids from only fluids. So that's generally what I'll end up doing here. They all need grease. They all have a separate outside ingredient. We have slaked lime, tar, and organic solvent, and then we have the, like, 1, 2, and 3 water, diamond water from water concentrate in there. That can probably be tightened up a little bit. They'll produce crude diamonds. From there, the crude diamonds get washed with sulfuric acid. And then from there, actually, they get classified into diamonds. But we're going to end up with a whole bunch of this kimberlite residue, all of the kimberlite residue combined through the entire process. Will get processed into additional rejects as well as gravel. And from there, those diamond rejects get processed on a screening line 19 long. Into rejects, and then those rejects get solid separated into additional diamonds and additional outputs that need to be voided and returned. That's the skeleton of our diamonds. It is now 1 o'clock, aka the official ending for our stream. For all intents and purposes, this is the diamond chain. So, tell me, should I build it off screen? The rest, like, do the logistics, or should we just do the logistics together the next time we meet, bearing in mind that that will delay whatever I want to do next time? Yeah, let me know. Let me know quickly whether or not I should just do all this logistics work, because at this point it's just logistics to get this done. I have all of the inputs. I know I have all the inputs. It's just doing the logistics. Do we want to watch logistics? We want to watch logistics for, like, however long it'll take to do all this logistics work. I don't think so. I think the interesting part is now finished. Of, like, placing the buildings, deciding upon the placement of the buildings. Anyway. For now, that is that. On diamonds. When I come back on Tuesday next week, you would like progress more? Yeah. So would I. I would like progress more than spending a lot of time working on logistics. Because the next time we meet, I want to set up the military science packs. That'll probably be the first thing that we set up together next time. But we have the options of acrylic, bio-ore, arcod propolis, and nanofibrils. One of these things, and negacium. One of these things needs Dilmo eggs, so we will need Dilmo eggs. And we will need Crydron adrenal cortexes, so we will need to get Arthurians as Arthurians, not just the eggs. We need to hatch eggs into Arthurians to feed Crydron. We also need Dilmo eggs somewhere. I forget where. I think it's the Arcod propolis. Yes. So for the Arcod propolis here, we need to have Dilmo eggs set up. Not Dilmo, but they're eggs. And I am able to make them now. I can physically start making the first examples of this. So I suppose next time we meet will be military science and the alien life we still need to do. I think we'll just work on all of the alien life that we need to do. Like, Dilmo eggs are super easy. Holy crap, they're so easy. Holy crap, they're so easy. In fact, technically speaking, you don't even really need the Dilmos because these buildings operate without the modules installed. Cough, cough. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Anyway, yeah, set this up. I need the wax, I guess, and naphtha to get this done. But yeah, work on Arthurian, Crydron, Dilmo, Arcod, propolis. I think that's all of them that I need for the animal slash plantimal stuff. I think so, and that'll take up a good chunk next time. We might work on the acrylic at that point. Bio-ore is probably going to take its own day. Negacium, we could probably get into... This is really fast once we actually get Crydron, so at any point after getting Crydron, we could work to this. That nanocrystalline cellulose is the, like, other new quote-unquote thing, but it's not that particularly bad, is it? Isn't it? Ahem. Nanocrystalline cellulose. Yeah, it's not awful. It's not awful. They changed it to use this pressurized steam. It used to be like 500-degree steam, but now it's pressurized steam. With that, folks, we have reached the end of the stream for the day today. I would like to thank you all for watching. This has been Otaku Show, but if you've enjoyed today's stream, please be sure to do all of the social and engagement stuff down below the video. Leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe if you've not yet subscribed, and hit the notification bell. Consider becoming a member of the channel by hitting the great big blue join button and supporting on Patreon at patreon.com/otakushow. But if you are so inclined and able, I will do the logistics work on the diamonds between streams and a whole bunch of other stuff around the base that needs to get done, so that when we next speak, we can continue our progression into PyScience 3 to get there as early as next Thursday. I think next Thursday we could get PyScience 3. So, yeah. Hope to see you all on Tuesday.